Welcome to my channel, Valuable Coins All World. If you've ever wondered if those old coins you have lying around could be worth a fortune, you're in the right place. In today's video, we're diving into some of the rarest US coins, revealing their jaw-dropping values that will leave you amazed. Stick with us till the end. You won't want to miss what these hidden treasures could be worth. Let's get started. Top 1. Get ready for a story that combines history, mystery, and an astonishing value that has stunned collectors around the world. Today, we turn our attention to a small but mighty coin, one that's tucked away in many collections, hidden in jars of change, or even resting unnoticed in old drawers. It's the 1970 D Washington quarter dollar. At first glance, this coin may seem like any ordinary 25-cent piece. But under the right light and with the right knowledge, this small silver-colored coin can reveal a jaw-dropping truth. It could be worth a fortune, $215,000. Yes, you heard that right. A 1970 Washington quarter with the Denver mint mark and just the right characteristics has fetched a life-changing amount at auction, and here's why. The Washington quarter series began in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of America's first president, George Washington. What started as a commemorative issue quickly became the standard quarter design for decades. By 1970, millions of these quarters were rolling off the presses at mints across the country, including the Denver Mint, which is marked by a small D beneath the wreath on the reverse. Now let's focus on the specifics of the 1970 D Washington quarter. This coin weighs 5.67 grams and has a diameter of 24.26 millimeters with a thickness of 1.75 millimeters. The shape is round, of course, and the composition is what's known as copper-nickel-clad copper. That means it has an inner core of solid copper, sandwiched between layers of a copper-nickel alloy. It was introduced as a replacement for 90% silver quarters that had been produced up until 1964. While most of these clad coins are quite common, a very rare and valuable error in 1970 changed everything. Some of the 1970 D quarters were mistakenly struck on silver planchets, or more interestingly, over previously struck coins. The most famous and valuable example known to collectors is a 1970 D quarter struck over a 1941 Canadian quarter. This means the older coin was used as a blank planchet by mistake, and when struck with the 1970 Washington quarter dies, it created a wild blend of two countries' currencies. You can still see parts of the original Canadian design underneath the US features, especially when examined under magnification. This is more than just an error. It's a numismatic marvel. It's the kind of mistake that isn't just rare, it's nearly unheard of. That's why collectors went wild when it appeared at auction. The visuals alone are stunning. George Washington's familiar portrait on the front, with traces of the older Canadian design ghosting beneath the US features. On the reverse, the eagle perches boldly, but with hidden patterns from the 1941 coin faintly visible in the background. It's the kind of coin that tells two stories at once, an accidental fusion of American and Canadian minting histories. What makes it even more special is the timing. By 1970, mints were running more efficiently, and major errors like these were extremely rare. Quality control had improved dramatically since earlier decades, making the existence of such an error virtually impossible, yet it happened. And once discovered, it sent shockwaves through the coin community. Collectors raced to examine their 1970 D quarters. Could there be more? Was there another coin struck over a foreign piece? Or possibly over a silver planchet meant for another denomination? Suddenly, a simple quarter became a source of excitement and a symbol of hidden value. Let's talk about the price. When the error coin was authenticated and graded by professional services, it was placed at auction. What followed was a bidding war that highlighted just how much collectors value history, rarity, and uniqueness. After fierce competition, the coin finally sold for an astonishing $215,000. That's right. A coin with a face value of 25 cents ended up being worth $215,000 to the lucky collector who recognized its true value. And here's the most thrilling part. This isn't just a tale of the past. These kinds of discoveries still happen today. Rare coins can slip into circulation unnoticed, waiting for a sharp-eyed collector to discover them. If you have a jar full of old quarters, especially those from the 1970s, now's the time to look closer. You could be holding a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. Examine the weight. Check for signs of underlying designs. Use a magnifier to inspect the surface for unusual details, especially if your coin looks like it was double-struck or carries ghost images. And don't forget to check for that all-important D mint mark under the eagle's wreath on the reverse side. The world of coins is more than just metal and markings. It's a treasure hunt that anyone can join. And sometimes, the most incredible discoveries come not from ancient hoards or locked vaults, but from the change in your pocket or a coin long forgotten in a family drawer. So, whether you're a lifelong numismatist or just someone with a love for American history and curiosity, the 1970 D. Washington quarter reminds us of the magic in everyday things. It teaches us that the smallest item can carry the biggest surprise and that value is often hidden just beneath the surface, waiting for someone to look a little closer. Could your quarter be the next big find? Only time and a careful eye will tell. Top 2. In the vast and fascinating world of numismatics, some coins rise far above their face value to become treasured pieces of American history, hidden gems that hold remarkable stories, mystery, and unimaginable worth. Today, we're taking a deep dive into one such coin, the 1971 D. Washington quarter dollar, a coin that might appear ordinary at first glance but has stunned collectors by reaching a staggering value of $190,000. Yes, this is no ordinary quarter. It's a coin that proves even something as small as 25 cents can carry the weight of history, craftsmanship, and incredible fortune. So what exactly makes the 1971 D. Washington quarter so valuable? What is it about this specific piece that sets it apart from millions of others that were minted that same year? Let's uncover the magic behind this rare and highly sought-after coin. The Washington quarter has been a staple in American currency since its debut in 1932, created to commemorate the 200th birthday of the nation's first president, George Washington. Its design, featuring Washington's profile on the obverse and a majestic eagle on the reverse, has become one of the most recognizable in U.S. coinage. But by 1971, the coin had undergone a major shift in its physical makeup. Gone were the days of 90% silver quarters. Due to rising silver prices and economic changes, the U.S. Mint switched to a copper-nickel-clad composition beginning in 1965. This means the coin has a pure copper core, sandwiched between two outer layers of copper and nickel alloy, giving it a bright, silvery appearance while being composed primarily of cheaper metals. Still, even with these changes, the craftsmanship and historical importance of each coin remained. The 1971 D quarter, minted in Denver, as denoted by the small D mint mark beneath the eagle on the reverse, was one of hundreds of millions struck that year. It weighs 5.67 grams, with a diameter of 24.26 millimeters and a thickness of 1.75 millimeters. It is perfectly round and has that signature silver sheen, even though it contains no actual silver. So, why would a coin like this be worth nearly $200,000? The answer lies in its rarity and error characteristics. While the Denver Mint was known for high-volume production, it was not immune to mistakes that, over time, can become incredibly valuable to collectors. In the case of the 1971 D quarter, there are a few possible reasons it has reached such astronomical value. First, there have been reports of 1971 D quarters being struck on silver planchets that were mistakenly left over from previous mint runs. These planchets, normally used before the switch to copper-nickel cladding, would make the coin significantly more rare, especially in that era when strict quality control was supposed to eliminate such mix-ups. A silver planchet would make the coin slightly heavier and create a distinctive sound when dropped, a dead giveaway for the trained collector. Other rare errors include off-center strikes, double dies, or misaligned dies, all of which can transform a regular coin into a coveted collector's item. Some 1971 D quarters also show unusually sharp detail or mint luster, which can increase their grade dramatically if kept in pristine condition. Coins graded MS 67 or higher are extremely rare and, because of their near-perfect condition, are highly prized at auctions. Another factor in the coin's rising value is market demand. As collectors and investors continue to search for hidden treasures and overlooked errors in American coinage, certain dates and mint marks become hot targets. The 1971 D quarter, already somewhat rare in top condition, has become a legendary find. Especially when one of these pieces went up for sale and stunned the community by selling for $190,000. It wasn't just a fluke. The coin had all the right attributes: near-perfect strike, brilliant eye appeal, and potentially a rare composition or error that sent its value soaring. For the lucky owner, it turned out to be a life-changing discovery. And here's where it gets even more exciting: coins like this are still out there. Yes, you heard that correctly. This is not just a story from a dusty history book. There are still 1971 D quarters in circulation, tucked away in coin jars, old collections, or rolls that haven't been searched in years. That means you could be holding one right now without even knowing it. If you want to check your 1971 D quarter, here are a few tips. First, examine the coin's weight and composition. If it feels slightly heavier than 5.67 grams or rings differently when dropped, it might be struck on a silver planchet. Second, use a magnifier to inspect the details. Look for doubling in the letters, unusual spacing, or features that seem out of place. And finally, condition is everything. A coin with sharp details, clean surfaces, and minimal wear can be worth thousands, even tens of thousands more than a heavily circulated one. It's stories like these that remind us just how thrilling and rewarding coin collecting can be. With the right knowledge, a careful eye, and a little bit of luck, something as ordinary as a 1971 D Washington quarter could become your ticket to a small fortune. So the next time you get change at the store or go through an old coin collection, don't overlook the quarters. Pay attention to the dates, the mint marks, and the tiny details that could hide a priceless error. Because just like the incredible 1971 D quarter that sold for $190,000, your next coin discovery could be the story that everyone talks about next. Keep your eyes open and your curiosity sharp. You never know when history will fall into your hands. Top 3. In the fast-paced world of coin collecting, few things capture the imagination more than an ordinary-looking coin that turns out to be worth a small fortune. And one such coin is the 1979 Washington quarter dollar, minted without a mint mark, that has taken the numismatic community by surprise with its surprising features and jaw-dropping value. Though millions were produced that year, only a handful have characteristics so rare and specific that they transform an everyday coin into a high-value collector's item. One that has recently been valued at a stunning $135,000. To understand what makes this coin so unique, we need to rewind history a little. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Designed by John Flanagan, it features a striking portrait of the first U.S. president on the obverse side, with an eagle and a bundle of arrows on the reverse. This imagery reflects both strength and peace, hallmarks of Washington's leadership. The quarter design remained largely unchanged for decades, and by the late 1970s, it had become one of the most familiar coins in circulation. The 1979 quarter was struck during a period when the U.S. Mint had fully adopted the copper-nickel-clad composition for circulating coins. This shift had occurred after 1964 when the Mint stopped producing silver quarters for general use. Instead, the 1979 quarters were made from a copper core sandwiched between two layers of copper-nickel alloy, giving the coin a bright, silvery appearance while maintaining affordability and durability. The weight of the coin stands at 5.67 grams, with a diameter of 24.26 millimeters and a thickness of 1.75 millimeters. The shape is, as expected, a perfect round, yet inside this ordinary form lies the potential for something truly rare. The version of the 1979 quarter we are discussing today bears no mint mark, meaning it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. At that time, it was common for coins from Philadelphia to be produced without a mint mark, so its absence doesn't automatically imply rarity. However, what sets this particular coin apart is a combination of several extraordinary factors that occurred during the minting process, factors like striking errors, die varieties, or unusual finishes that resulted in a small batch of coins that looked noticeably different under expert scrutiny. One such feature that can dramatically affect the value is a double die error, where the coin appears to have overlapping or blurred lettering, especially noticeable in the words Liberty or In God We Trust. These doubling errors are the result of misalignments during the minting process and are highly coveted by collectors due to their rarity. Another sought-after anomaly includes off-center strikes, broad strikes, or coins that have an unusual toning, especially when they appear in mint red-brown or have developed attractive natural patterns over time. Even slight imperfections or irregularities in planchet quality can make the coin an extraordinary piece. Coins that come with pristine luster, uncirculated condition, and exceptional strike sharpness can be certified by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. High-grade examples of the 1979 quarter, particularly those with errors or mint state perfection, have stunned collectors by reaching prices far beyond expectations. One such example of the 1979 no mint mark Washington quarter was reportedly auctioned for an eye-widening $135,000. That's right. What many would consider loose change or pocket filler turned out to be a rare and valuable gem in the coin collecting world. This value is determined not just by the coin's age or denomination, but by its immaculate condition, extreme rarity, and the intensity of collector demand. Imagine flipping through your change jar and discovering a coin that has the potential to change your financial situation overnight. This is why coin collectors across the globe continue to search, study, and inspect even the most common-looking coins, because history has taught us that rarity often hides in plain sight. The 1979 Washington quarter is a perfect example of this mystery and potential. If you come across a 1979 quarter with no mint mark, don't disregard it. Examine it carefully, perhaps even under magnification. Look for doubling, off-center strikes, unique toning, or signs of exceptionally high preservation. It could be more than just a piece of metal. It could be a hidden fortune. $135,000 may seem like a fantasy, but for one lucky coin owner, it became a very real and unforgettable payday. So, keep your eyes open and your change jars close. The world of coins is full of surprises, and sometimes, the smallest piece can carry the biggest story and the biggest value. Top 4. In the captivating world of coin collecting, there are moments when ordinary pocket change transforms into a piece of American treasure, hiding extraordinary value beneath its everyday appearance. One such coin that has recently taken the spotlight is the 1986 Washington quarter dollar minted in Philadelphia, bearing the P mint mark. While millions of these coins were produced for everyday transactions, an extremely rare variant of this specific coin has stunned collectors and auction houses alike with its remarkable features and soaring market value. In fact, one of these rare examples has fetched a jaw-dropping $95,000. Yes, you heard that right. $95,000 in cold, hard cash for a single quartered. To understand the magic and rarity of the 1986 Washington quarter, let's take a step back and revisit its historical and numismatic roots. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to honor the bicentennial of George Washington's birth. The portrait on the obverse side was designed by John Flanagan and has since become one of the most iconic representations of the first U.S. president. The reverse of the coin, until 1998, featured a majestic eagle clutching arrows and an olive branch, symbolizing both war readiness and a deep yearning for peace. Now, let's zero in on the 1986 quarter. Minted at the Philadelphia Mint, indicated by the P mint mark, this coin was part of the regular coinage intended for widespread circulation. It features a composition of copper-nickel-clad copper, a durable blend designed to replace the silver content in earlier decades while still providing the coin with a bright, silvery appearance. It weighs 5.67 grams, has a diameter of 24.26 millimeters, and a thickness of 1.75 millimeters. The shape, as expected, is perfectly round, but it's the imperfections, the unintentional variations, and the striking anomalies that can turn this everyday quarter into a collector's dream. While most of the 1986 quarters are worth only their face value, a handful were struck with unique characteristics that catapult their value far beyond anything imaginable. One such feature is known as a double die error. This occurs when the coin die is improperly aligned or used more than once during the striking process, resulting in a doubling of letters and numbers, particularly in areas like Liberty or In God We Trust. These doubling effects are subtle but unmistakable under magnification and are highly sought after by error collectors. Another rare and dramatic error involves off-center strikes or broad strikes, where the coin is not properly centered in the press. This causes the design to appear partially missing or stretched, creating an immediate visual cue that something about this coin is out of the ordinary. These errors are rare in modern mints due to quality control systems, which is why any coin that slips through with such flaws can quickly become a collector's prize. What truly increases the value of a 1986 quarter is its condition, specifically, whether it's in mint state condition. Coins that were never circulated, show no signs of wear, and retain their original mint luster are graded highly by professional services like PCGS and NGC. A coin graded MS 67 or higher with an error, striking anomaly, or perfect preservation can easily leap into five-figure price ranges. And that's exactly what happened with this rare 1986 Washington quarter. The rare version of this 1986 quarter that stunned the collecting community wasn't just in pristine condition. It also had unusual strike sharpness, an incredibly detailed die variety, and eye-catching luster that made it stand out in any collection. Bidders at auction recognized its rarity, and the final hammer price reached an astonishing $95,000. That's not just coin collector enthusiasm. That's hard money changing hands for a piece of American minting history. So why do collectors go to such lengths and spend such huge sums on coins like this? The answer lies in the perfect storm of historical significance, aesthetic beauty, rarity, and the thrill of owning a piece of something that millions have handled, but few truly see. A coin like this represents the possibility that any one of us could stumble upon something incredible, whether in a coin jar, a garage sale, or tucked in a forgotten drawer. The lesson here is clear: don't overlook the ordinary. Take a moment to look closer. If you happen to come across a 1986 Washington quarter with the Philadelphia P mint mark, and it appears unusually bright, oddly struck, or perfectly preserved, don't just spend it. Examine it carefully. Get it appraised. You may just be holding a small disc of metal that's worth $95,000, a fortune hiding in plain sight, waiting to be discovered by someone with the curiosity and passion to look just a little deeper. In the end, the value of coins like the 1986 Washington quarter isn't just in their metal. It's in the story they tell, the rarity they represent, and the history they carry. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a beginner coin hunter, this is your invitation to dive into the mystery and excitement of U.S. coin collecting. Who knows? Your next pocket change might just be a treasure in disguise. Top 5. In the fascinating universe of coin collecting, certain coins break the mold, not because they were intended to, but because something unique happened during their creation. One such remarkable piece that's making waves in the world of numismatics is the 1991 Washington quarter dollar minted in Denver, easily identified by its D mint mark. Though it may appear just like any other coin that passes through our hands every day, a rare variety of this coin has stunned collectors and investors alike with an unbelievable market value. Believe it or not, this particular 1991 quarter has been valued at an incredible $65,000. Yes, $65,000 for just one coin that originally had a face value of 25 cents. Let's delve deeper into the story of this extraordinary coin and find out what makes it so incredibly valuable. The Washington quarter has long been a pillar of American currency. Introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, this coin features the iconic profile of the first U.S. president on the obverse side. Designed by John Flanagan, the image has become one of the most familiar faces in U.S. coinage, maintaining its dignified presence on quarters for decades. On the reverse, the traditional heraldic eagle holding arrows and an olive branch symbolizes both strength and the hope for peace, an emblematic message of American ideals. The 1991 version of the Washington quarter was produced during a time when the U.S. Mint had well established its modern minting processes. It was struck in Denver, hence the D mint mark, and made with a copper-nickel-clad composition, two outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. It weighs 5.67 grams, with a standard diameter of 24.26 millimeters and a thickness of 1.75 millimeters. The coin retains a brilliant silvery appearance and a round, clean-cut shape that collectors admire. But here's the twist. Although millions of these quarters were minted, only a microscopic number emerged with flaws, errors, or unique traits that transformed them from spare change into prized possessions. What makes this 1991 D Washington quarter worth $65,000 isn't merely its age, it's the perfect storm of rarity, condition, and error. Let's break that down. First, rarity. While the 1991 D quarter isn't rare in its basic form, error varieties and those struck under exceptional conditions are rare. For example, a double die error, where the coin is struck twice in slightly different positions, creates visible doubling in the text or features of the design. This is a highly collectible mint error, and if you have a quarter that shows doubling on Liberty, In God We Trust, or the date, it may be a jackpot in disguise. Another possible valuable trade includes off-center strikes, which occur when the blank planchet isn't perfectly aligned during minting. Coins that are 5% to 20% off-center, especially those that still display a full date and mint mark, are considered highly desirable. These off-center errors are easy to spot and very rare in modern minting, which is why collectors are willing to pay top dollar. Then there's the condition, often the most critical factor in valuation. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with coins graded MS 65 and above considered mint state and uncirculated. The few 1991 D quarters that have remained untouched by time, with no scratches, wear, or discoloration, are the ones that fetch stunning prices at auction. Some of these high-grade specimens are also considered proof-like, showing an unusually reflective or satin finish not typically seen in circulation coins. Such visual appeal combined with a rare error can turn a 25-cent coin into a headline-making sale. One particular 1991 D Washington quarter achieved legendary status in a recent private auction. It featured exceptional mint luster, nearly flawless surfaces, and an incredibly rare die alignment error that made it stand out from any other known examples of its kind. When bidding began, collectors recognized just how extraordinary this piece was, and when the final gavel fell, it had sold for a staggering $65,000. That's not just a record price for a 1991 D quarter. That's the kind of sale that changes how collectors look at modern-era coins altogether. It also brings us to an important point. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises. Many people walk past treasures every day, unaware of the value hiding in their pockets or old coin jars. A common coin becomes uncommon when it carries an untold story, an error, a pristine condition, a strange variety that turns it into a collectible work of art. So what should you do if you find a 1991 Washington quarter with a D mint mark? First, handle it carefully. Avoid touching it with your bare hands, as oils from your skin can damage the surface. Store it in a protective sleeve or coin flip. Then, take a close look. Use a magnifier to inspect the coin's features. Check for doubling, examine the edges for unusual cuts, and evaluate the quality of the strike. If it appears flawless or unique in any way, get it professionally graded. That small investment could lead to a massive return. This story of the 1991 D Washington quarter reminds us that sometimes history is hidden in plain sight. The coins we pass around daily, without thought, can hold secrets that only the curious and observant will ever discover. A simple piece of change, when combined with rarity, mint error, and condition, becomes a legacy, a conversation starter, and a collector's holy grail. And so, we return to the heart of the matter, a 1991 D Washington quarter. A coin you might have spent on candy as a child or seen passed from hand to hand has reached an astonishing market value of $65,000. That's not just a story of a coin. That's the magic of numismatics, the art of seeing value where others see only the ordinary. Keep your eyes open, because your next incredible discovery might be just one quarter away. Top 6. In the fascinating realm of coin collecting, some of the most unassuming coins can hold the greatest surprises. One such coin is the 1994 Washington quarter dollar, minted in Denver and bearing the distinctive D mint mark. To the average person, it might seem like just another quarter from the pocket change of decades past, but to the sharp-eyed collector, it could represent a rare opportunity to own a piece of modern American numismatic history. What makes this particular quarter so special is a combination of rarity, condition, minting anomalies, and collector demand. And in some unique cases, examples of this 1994 D quarter have fetched as much as $55,000 in the collector's market. That's right, $55,000 for a single quarter originally worth only 25 cents. Let's journey into the full story behind this remarkable coin and explore how something so small and common can become so valuable and highly sought after. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932, designed to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Its obverse design features a profile portrait of Washington himself, created by sculptor John Flanagan. Over the decades, this classic image has remained a staple of American currency. The reverse side, at the time of the 1994 quarter's minting, still displayed the heraldic eagle with wings spread wide, perched on a bundle of arrows and framed by olive branches, a design meant to reflect both strength and peace. Now, focusing on the 1994 D quarter, let's break down the technical details that define it. The coin weighs 5.67 grams, measures 24.26 millimeters in diameter, and is 1.75 millimeters thick. It was struck with a clad composition, consisting of an inner core of pure copper surrounded by outer layers of copper-nickel alloy, hence its metallic silver color. This type of composition has been standard since the U.S. Mint transitioned away from 90% silver in the mid-1960s. The Denver Mint produced a large number of these coins in 1994, and under normal circumstances, they would be considered quite ordinary. But not all 1994 D quarters are created equal. Among them exist extremely rare varieties, which due to minting errors, extremely low production defects, or exceptional preservation conditions, have become hidden treasures. One factor that instantly elevates a coin's value is an error during the minting process. In the case of the 1994 D Washington quarter, some of the most valuable examples include dramatic off-center strikes, where the image is visibly misaligned on the coin's surface. These errors often occur when the planchet, the blank metal disc that becomes a coin, is not properly positioned before the die strikes it. Collectors prize these off-center errors, especially when the date and mint mark are still visible. Another key error involves doubled dies. This occurs when the die itself is imprinted twice with slight misalignment before it starts striking coins, resulting in a noticeable doubling effect on letters or numbers, especially on Liberty, In God We Trust, or the date 1994. These doubled die errors are among the most famous and sought after in coin collecting, and finding one in high-grade condition is like striking gold. And then, there are coins that simply survive the test of time in exceptional condition. Coins that have never been circulated and remain in pristine mint state, graded MS-65 and above, can command astonishing prices. These coins retain full detail, unbroken luster, and clean surfaces without any wear or contact marks. In some cases, high-grade 1994 D quarters also exhibit a proof-like finish, with extra shine and contrast, further increasing their market appeal. There is also the rare chance that some coins were struck on the wrong planchet entirely. Imagine a quarter struck on a nickel planchet or even a foreign coin blank. These highly unusual errors escape the mint in tiny numbers and become incredibly valuable oddities. Now, let's talk about the real-life payoff. A particular 1994 D quarter with near-perfect preservation, eye-popping luster, and a significant mint error was once auctioned in a private collector's sale. Multiple bidders recognized the rarity and historical significance of this piece. After a competitive round of bidding, this quarter, an everyday coin to the untrained eye, sold for a jaw-dropping $55,000. This sale wasn't just a fluke or a one-time event. It illustrates a growing trend in numismatics, where modern coins with rare flaws or exceptional quality are achieving prices once thought possible only for ancient or early American coins. As the collector base expands and new enthusiasts join the search for hidden treasures, demand for these rare variants of newer coins is skyrocketing. If you're wondering whether you might be holding such a coin right now, here are a few tips. First, inspect your quarters from 1994 carefully. Look for anything that appears off, doubling, misalignment, or unusual thickness or color. Next, assess the condition. Does the coin have scratches, dings, or signs of wear? Or does it appear sharp and lustrous, like it just left the mint? A high-grade coin is your best bet for premium value. If something seems truly unusual, consider submitting it to a reputable coin grading service for professional evaluation. Many treasures in the numismatic world are discovered not by seasoned experts, but by ordinary people who take the time to look closer. It might be a coin saved from childhood, found in a coin roll, or even one received as change from a store. What makes the 1994 D Washington $quarter story so compelling is that its extraordinary value is hidden beneath the surface, waiting for the right person to recognize its worth. Next time you go through your pocket change or dig through an old coin jar, don't rush. You might just come across something extraordinary, something that could transform a common 25-cent piece into a valuable, historic collectible worth $55,000. That's not just the thrill of collecting. That's the magic of coins. Keep your eyes sharp and your curiosity alive, because the next incredible discovery could be in your hands right now. Top 7. In the ever-evolving world of coin collecting, it's not always the oldest or most visibly antique coin that turns out to be the rare gem. Sometimes, modern coins, those you may have in your wallet or coin jar right now, can hold unexpected value. And today, we shine a spotlight on one such coin, the 2021 Washington quarter dollar, minted in Denver and identified by the D mint mark. At first glance, it looks just like any other recent quarter, silver in color, familiar in design, and still very much in circulation. But under the surface of this seemingly ordinary coin lies a fascinating story, and in select rare cases, examples of this coin have been sold for as much as $15,000. Yes, you heard that right, $15,000 for a quarter from 2021. The Washington Quarter Series, introduced in 1932 to honor the bicentennial of George Washington's birth, has gone through many design and composition changes. The 2021 issue belongs to a particularly interesting chapter in U.S. coinage history. Following the conclusion of the long-running America the Beautiful Quarters program in 2020, the 2021 quarters marked a transition year. Instead of launching a brand new series immediately, the U.S. Mint returned briefly to a new, updated version of Washington's profile on the obverse, designed by Laura Garden Fraser, an artist whose 1931 design was originally passed over in favor of John Flanagan version. This 2021 quarter featured a bold, refreshed version of Washington's profile, facing right instead of the left-facing portrait seen for decades. It was a move applauded by numismatists and collectors who had long admired Fraser's design for its artistic merit and historical significance. The reverse, meanwhile, honored the Tuskegee Airmen National Historic Site in Alabama, marking the final entry in the America the Beautiful program, making this 2021 quarter both an end and a beginning in the story of modern American coinage. Now, let's talk about the physical specifications that define the 2021 D Washington quarter. This coin weighs 5.67 grams, has a diameter of 24.26 millimeters, and a thickness of 1.75 millimeters. Its composition is copper-nickel-clad copper, giving it the traditional silvery finish we associate with quarters minted after 1965. With a round shape and a reeded edge, the coin retains the familiar features Americans have known for generations. But what truly sets some 2021 quarters apart is not what meets the eye. It's what lies beneath the surface, and sometimes, what went wrong during the minting process. You see, errors and variations are the secret ingredient that can transform a modern coin into a high-value collector's piece. In the case of the 2021 D quarter, several factors have made certain examples incredibly valuable. First, there are striking errors. These include coins that were misaligned, struck off-center, or even double-struck. An off-center strike means the design is noticeably off its normal position, making the coin immediately unusual and eye-catching. Double-struck coins show overlapping images from being struck twice by the dies. These are not only rare, but also highly desirable among error collectors. Then there are die breaks and cuts, tiny or significant pieces of the die that have broken off, resulting in raised lumps of metal on the coin's surface. These flaws, though accidental, are incredibly prized for their uniqueness. Some 2021 D quarters show die breaks near Washington's eye or the date, or even across the fields of the coin. Depending on the location and size of the break, these coins can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Another key element is the condition of the coin. A 2021 D Washington quarter in mint state, graded MS67 or higher by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, can command huge premiums. The higher the grade, the fewer blemishes and marks, and the more visually impressive the coin appears. Coins with mirror-like surfaces or intense natural luster are especially valuable. Even though millions were minted, very few survive in top-tier condition due to handling, circulation, and distribution methods. It's also important to note that collector demand has surged for transitional year coins. Since 2021 represents a bridge between the end of one program and the start of another, the American Women Quarters series launched in 2022. These coins carry historical weight beyond their face value. The Denver Mint, while producing vast quantities, has also seen certain coins slip through with planchet errors, weak strikes, or unintentional varieties. These factors fuel collector excitement and drive up prices at auctions. But let's get to the most thrilling part, real market value. In one standout case, a 2021 D Washington quarter, certified in exceptionally high mint state and featuring a rare die clash error, was sold for $15,000 at a numismatic auction. That's a mind-blowing sum for a coin that most people would use to pay a parking meter or grab a quick snack from a vending machine. It goes to show that even modern coins can hide massive value if you know what to look for. A coin struck just a couple of years ago could be worth more than a brand new car if it has the right combination of rarity, condition, and error. So, how can you find one of these potential treasures? Start by closely examining your pocket change or coin rolls. Look for anything out of the ordinary, off-center strikes, doubling, cracks, or unique luster. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to inspect the fine details. Compare your coin to reference images of known varieties and errors. And if you think you've found something special, don't hesitate to send it to a professional grading company for authentication and certification. This is the true thrill of coin collecting. Ordinary people discovering extraordinary value in the most unexpected places. A 2021 D quarter might just be sitting unnoticed in your coin jar, waiting to reveal its hidden worth. So next time you hold a Washington quarter from 2021, pause and look a little closer. You could be holding a piece of modern numismatic history. And who knows? If the stars align, that little silver-colored coin could turn out to be worth a life-changing $15,000.